stance I'm going to show you is a Chinese traditional Kung Fu stance called Kim Yo Mao, which means clamping the sheep. First, you put your feet together, like so. You bring your hands up into the chamber position. You bend your knees, open, open, sit. This is a proper Kim Yo Mao. If you notice Kim Yo Mao, your knees are slightly apart. You will have a triangle with your feet, down to the feet. You have a triangle within your legs, if you look, which again is what? The strongest structure in geometry. I will close this stance like so, and exhale. Let's go to application. This is Kim Yo Mao. Now, if you pivot from Kim Yo Mao, you pivot like so. Notice my footwork. I'm covering several angles. Going to the left, I'm going back center, I'm going back to the right, pivoting back. Notice my structure is still the same. So let me show you some drills you can do to make your Kim Yo Mao better. Note how I pivot and go to the left, the center, and the right. Why am I doing this? Because opponents don't come from the same direction every time. If I were to counter from the left, I pivot here. I come back center. If I were to pivot to the right, I push off my back foot, which is my left foot in this instant, to go to the right. If I go back center, I pivot with the opposite foot to go back center. Now once again, let me explain it slowly because I know I'm moving fast. If I go to my right, I push off my right foot. If I go to my left, I push off, pivot off my left heel. If I go back center, I pivot off of the opposite foot, like so. So let me show you the drill. Here comes a man from my left. Tan Sao, 1, 2, 3, battle punch. If I see him coming from my center, Tan Sao, 1, 2, 3. Now he's coming again from my right. Tan Sao, 1, 2, 3. Now back center, let's do it again. Let's show it in application. Ready? Yet. Yi. Sam. Say. And that's what pivoting looks like when you're practicing punching. So let's go on to the next stance. Okay, now that was a brief introduction of Kim Yo Mao, which means clamming the sheep. The next stance we're going to use is called a forward fighting stance. If it's left and forward, my front foot is out slightly like a Western boxing style. My feet are slightly turned. My front hand is lower than my back hand. Note, the reason why I say my front hand is lower than my back hand is because this is the hand of deception. All right, what does that mean? People tend to look at what's in their face, the rare hand they're looking at. But actually, what I'm going to do with my forward fighting stance is I'm going to hit them with not the reverse punch first. I'm going to sting them with a back fist. Back fist like so. This distracts them. It opens up all this down here, okay? Or it's a decoy. I do this, they jump, bam, hook to the face. So let's talk about a forward fighting stance. This stance is used when you're sparring or when you're doing one-steps, touch and go drills. But this isn't what you would use for the street in combat. Let me show you the next stance, which is called a natural, non-aggressive stance. Okay, the next stance we're going to focus on is one of the most important stances when you're dealing with self-defense. It's called a natural stance. Note how I talk with my hands. Why do I talk with my hands? Because people get distracted with your hands when you're talking. What is the weapon in this stance? I'll show you what the weapon is. I'm walking, okay? And all of a sudden this guy comes and he threatens my space. Whoa, what have I just done? I've got in an offensive posture without him even knowing. Why is it offensive? Look at my hands. I can palm, I can back fist, I can drop punch to the groin. but it's non-aggressive. If he puts his hands on me and he touches my shoulder, bam! I can hit him. I can lock him. I can do many things from this stance. So I'm introducing these stances. So let me go all through all three of them real quick. We want to talk about Kim Yo Mao, pivot, pivot, pivot. We want to talk about the forward fighting stance. Your weight is equally distributed on the balls of your feet. There's a pole coming down your head. It keeps you. So if you have to pivot, you stay on that pole. You don't go off balance. You stay with your weight centered. Natural stance is the same thing. I start here. I take an aggressive step, but I'm non-aggressive or non-threatening to my opponent. Look at the balance. My knees are bent. Okay? My weight is on the balls of my feet. You can slide $1 under my heel. So I'm stable. I'm not unstable. So for today, that's what I want you to focus with. Once again, have a great day. And as always, us. Thank you.